Hello, this is Mr. Kays, and today we're talking about the origins of people in North America. How did they get there? We're going to look at folks that came from other places, obviously. The theory is that the first Americans were actually from Asia. And playing a part in this story, obviously, is this land bridge that existed between Asia and North America. It's called Beringia. If you've ever heard of the Bering Strait, that's a place in Alaska area that there used to be a land bridge there, the theory was, and that people went from Asia to North America. The theory was they chased, I call it hamburger on the hoof, but they were wild animals, big game hunters, and as they moved, so did the people. The Ice Age, the theory was about 1.5 million years ago, roughly to 10,000 BC. The Ice Age existed. There were glaciers that moved south, and as the glaciers moved south, they melted, and the sea levels or the ocean levels rose to such an extent that that land bridge between Asia and North America disappeared, and so there was no more bridge. As man moved south into what is now the United States, Central America, and South America, we have evidence that in Clovis, New Mexico especially, that they existed about 10,000 years ago because they did find some spearheads. As I said before, the theory is that they were big game hunters. They chased herds of mastodon and bisons and elk and big game, etc., etc. So the earliest man supposedly lived as big game hunters, and they gathered plants as they could too. We see on this picture Asia connected with Alaska, and as they move south from Alaska, take a right-hand turn at Alaska and move down into British Columbia and then the present-day United States, they spread out. Agriculture is going to prompt a new way of life. We have the development of farming, and as man is able to take seeds and plant them, he can settle down, and we're going to talk a little bit later on about how life changes. But they planted corn, which is known as maize. We talk about the Indian three sisters, beans, corn, and squash, very important, very nutritious. Didn't mean that they didn't hunt anymore, it just meant that they supplemented their diet of meat now with vegetables. In Central and South America, you have Native American tribes like the Mayans and the Aztecs that would use chinampas. These are floating gardens in which small ponds or lakes, shallow lakes, would be heaped up with mud, and then the seeds would be planted in that rich mud, and the water would be there for irrigation. And it would yield up to about 3 crops a year. So man was able to settle down from his nomadic lifestyle and have a longer life because they ate more nutritious food. That's the theory. So farming is going to bring that change. As the population grows, you have people that are farming, and they're very efficient and productive. And as you have a surer source of food now, you can do other things like pursue crafts and engage in the arts and build buildings, etc., etc. So what we see is society growing more and more complex and sophisticated. Well, that's it for now. 9.1 in the books.